Ukraine could lose the war if the US delays military aid, top Ukrainian official says.
This post received a score of 4,100, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
So what is Russia doing about that NATO country on their border, Finland?
Probably not looking for a rematch.
Hotfuzzshame.gif.
I think the more important question is, can Ukraine win the war even with the help of other countries? What does winning look like in this situation? I want to see a positive outcome for Ukraine, but I just wonder what that will entail.
This was disastrous and has since been abandoned, and as a direct result NATO will need to re-evaluate their operational plans going forward to plan for a contingency based on the past 8 months of fighting. This is to be expected when you have a relatively inexperienced armed forces shifting from a defensive war to an offensive war. This is already happening based on recent counter-attack strategy, particularly around Andrivka. It's early in the war, this will likely go on for another 3 years, but Ukraine will prevail.
Greater than the first was the stern adherence to NATO doctrine early in the counteroffensive. Not really. All NATO doctrines require the USAF and USN to dominate the skies. Without the USA, NATO is incapable of such a feat. For Ukraine, this is a fantasy. You can't fight a war with NATO doctrines without air power. Unless Ukraine gets a 500-plus plane fleet, that will never happen.
Correct, that's a pretty big piece of the puzzle as to why the results were so disastrous. All the NATO training was to execute from a playbook with a limited chance of success.
Sorry Ukraine, it is election season, so the Russian puppets in our government are getting bonus checks.
European countries need to step it up.
For real. Why is this war so dependent on the US, and how has the rest of Europe not ramped up weapons production over the last 1.5 years? To be fair, many countries are contributing a larger share of GDP to Ukraine than the US. Well, they should. The war is in Europe, not North America.
Disinformation and psyops against Russia needs to be ramped up. If Russia is allowed to spread anti-vax disinformation in the West and kill thousands, I don't see why we shouldn't return the same destruction.
You can't PSYOP Russia, they're already completely saturated domestically with injected bullshit by the state.
It's also one of the only things they seem to really excel at. They've proven inept in multiple ways, but they still got Trump elected and may just do it again.
How about the rest of NATO step up in the USA's tumultuous times? It's not like America is next on the list of countries to invade.
Americans need to realize that no country on this planet could actually invade America. At this point, NATO does need us way more than we need them. That's one of the things Trump had correct. At least objective speaking. NATO may be necessary for other objectives, but yeah, we don't need to be the teat that the whole organization suckles off.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.